Hi, Jonas and Cam. Today I'm reading chapter 19 of The Wizard of Oz. After this, we will have the finale. Okay, so here we go with chapter 19. Just put my bookmark in its spot. The Dainty China Country. So, here is a picture of the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, and we're going to learn a little bit about what they do. Well, the Tin Man was making a ladder from wood, which he found in the forest. Dorothy, remember there was that big wall that they were going to try to climb over. Dorothy lay down and slept. She was very tired from the long walk. The lion was curled up to sleep, and Toto lay beside him. The Scarecrow watched the Tin Man while he worked, and said to him, "I cannot figure out why this wall is here, and what it is made of." "Rest your brains and do not worry about the wall," answered the Tin Man. So in that picture, they're working on the ladder. "When we climb over it, we will know what is on the other side." After a while, the ladder was finished, and it looked clumsy, but the Tin Man was sure it was strong and would serve the purpose of getting them over the China wall. The Scarecrow woke Dorothy, Toto, and the lion. He told them that the ladder was ready. The Scarecrow climbed up the ladder first, but he was so awkward that Dorothy had to follow close behind to keep him from falling off. When he got his head over the top of the wall, and he could see, he said, "Oh my!" "Go on," Dorothy shouted. So the Scarecrow climbed further up and sat down on the top of the wall. And Dorothy looked over and cried, "Oh my!" just like the Scarecrow had done. What do we think's over the wall? Then Toto came up immediately and began to bark, but Dorothy told him to be quiet. So here they are climbing up the wall. The lion climbed the ladder next, and then the Tin Man. Both of them said, "Oh my!" as soon as they looked over the wall. When they were all sitting in a row on the top of the wall, they looked down and saw a very strange sight. Before them was a great stretch of land. The floor of the land was as smooth and shining and white as the bottom of a big plate. Scattered around were many houses, made entirely of china and painted in bright colors. China is like what the dishes you eat off of, unless you have plastic. Let's see here. Scattered around were many houses made entirely of china and painted in bright colors. These houses were very small. The biggest one reached only as high as Dorothy's waist. There were also tiny barns painted red with china fences around them. There were cows. But the strangest of all were the people who lived in this unusual land. There were milkmaids and shepherdesses who wore red and yellow blouses and skirts with golden spots. There were princesses with beautiful silver dresses, gold and purple. So here they are looking over the wall. And let's see. The shepherds were dressed in short pants with pink, yellow, and blue stripes on them. Their shoes had golden buckles. There were princes with jeweled crowns and ermine robes. Ermine is a type of animal, so it would be a fur robe. There were also clowns in ruffled gowns with red spots on their cheeks and tall pointed caps. But the strangest thing of all was all these people were made of china. And they were so small that the tallest one was no higher than Dorothy's knee. At first, none of the little people even looked at the travelers. One little purple china dog with an extra large head came to the wall and barked at them. "How can we get down to the other side of this wall?" asked Dorothy. The ladder was so heavy they couldn't pull it up, so the Scarecrow fell off the wall. And then the others jumped down so hard so the hard floor, let me start again. Then the others jumped down on him so the hard floor would not hurt their feet. So here's a picture of some tiny China people. They were very careful not to land on his head and get pins stuck in their feet. When they were all safely down, they picked up the scarecrow and patted his straw back into shape. "We must cross this strange place in order to get to the other side," said Dorothy, "for we really must continue going south." They began walking through the country of China people, and the first thing they came to was a China milkmaid milking a China cow. As they came near, the cow gave a kick, and over went the stool and the pail of milk, and even the milkmaid herself. Everything fell on the china ground with a great clatter. Dorothy was shocked to see that the cow had broken off its leg, and that the pail was now lying in several small pieces. Even the milkmaid had a nick in her left elbow. "See what you've done!" cried the milkmaid angrily. "My cow now has a broken leg, and I must take her to the mender's shop." So here is a picture of the cow and the pail of milk and the milkmaid all falling over. "To the mender's shop and have it glued on again." "What do you mean, coming here and frightening my cow?" "I'm really very sorry," said Dorothy. "Please forgive us." But the milkmaid was too angry to answer. She picked up the leg and led the cow away. The poor animal limped on 3 legs. Dorothy felt very bad about what had happened. "We must be very careful here," she said. Said the kind-hearted Tin Man, "or we may hurt these little people so that they will never get over it." A little further on, Dorothy met a beautifully dressed princess. The princess stopped short when she saw the strangers, and she started to run away. Dorothy wanted to see more of the princess, so she ran after her, but the China girl cried out, "Don't chase me! Don't chase me!" She had such a frightened voice that Dorothy stopped. "Why not?" So here's the little princess running away from Dorothy and her friends. "Because," answered the princess, "if I run, I may fall down and break myself." "But you could be mended, couldn't you?" asked Dorothy. "Oh, yes, but one is never as pretty after being mended, you know," answered the princess. "I suppose not," said Dorothy. "Now there is Mr. Joker, one of our clowns," continued the China woman, "who is always trying to stand on his head. He has broken himself so many times that he is mended in 100 places and doesn't look at all pretty. Here he comes now, so you can see for yourself." Indeed, a jolly clown came walking by, and Dorothy could see that in spite of his pretty clothes of red, yellow, and green, he was completely covered in cracks, and it was clear that he had been mended in many places. So here's the clown. You can see cracks all over their face. Dorothy felt sad for the poor little clown. Then she turned to the beautiful princess and said, "You are so lovely. I am sure that I could love you dearly. I'm going back to Kansas. Won't you let me carry you back in my basket so I can get home and I can stand you on Auntie M's mantel shelf?" "That would make me very unhappy," answered the China princess. "You see, here in our country we live happily and can talk and move around as we please. But when any of us are taken away, our joints at once stiffen, and we can only stand straight and look pretty. Of course, that is all that is expected of us once we are on a mantel shelf or a cabinet or living room tables. Our lives are much more fun here in our own country." "I understand," said Dorothy, "and I would not want to make you unhappy for anything in the world. So I will just say goodbye." And here's the little princess explaining to Dorothy that she doesn't want to be taken to another country. "Goodbye," answered the princess. They walked carefully through the China country. Little animals and people scampered out of their way, afraid they would be broken. Soon they reached the other side of the country and came to another china wall. It was not as high as the first, and by standing on the lion's back, they all managed to scramble up to the top. Then the lion gathered his legs under him and jumped the wall. Just as he did this, he upset a china house with his tail and smashed it to pieces. That was too bad, said Dorothy. But I think we were lucky that we did these people so little harm. They are so delicate. They certainly are, said the Scarecrow, and I am thankful that I am made of straw and cannot be hurt so easily. There were worse things in the world than being a scarecrow. So here they are, getting over the wall on the other side of the China country. They're so afraid of outsiders, said the Tin Man. They must have been treated badly by those who did not understand them. Dorothy nodded her head in agreement, and as she took her last look at the China wall, before them lay a gloomy forest. So they're looking back at the little China country, and in front of them is a gloomy forest. So next time, not only will we find out what's happening in the gloomy forest, but we are going to finish the book. There are 22 chapters. Bye-bye.